Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward, Chapter 40. Randall swung around, facing the woman he had left in the care of the two of his crew. She had blood spattered on her. It was impossible to tell if it was her own. "Step no farther," he barked. "Do not move if you wish them to live. Think, woman. Give over to the caravan and its contents, and we will let the three of you live. We both gain. Us with some new provisions, you with your lives. Do not be a hero. There is nothing more we wish than to be on our way, safely away. I do not ask you to stow your weapon. Just step back, and we will spare them. Harold! Move away from the old man. No complaining now. Do as I say." The rider who had been slashing at Jess from the saddle stopped in confusion, then agreeably backed away, true to the crew leader's word. Jess was sweating, breathing heavily, and did not move away from the driver's seat or the young miss. The other man, standing next to Randall, stopped advancing, waiting for further orders. "See? My word rings true. No sense in any more bloodshed now." The crew leader smiled evenly, clearly prepared for such a turn of events. Kayana stilled her movements, aware of the proximity the man was from Millie. Her pride was nothing, next to the protection of the child. The standoff begun. She would need to hold it long enough for Jess and Millie to escape, but that would mean passing by the men that blocked the way between them. She had to hold their attention somehow. She sank into one of her poses, snake lying in wait, her body already moving to comply. Outwardly, she lowered herself to her knees, moving the blade slowly to the earth. Hot tears fell from her eyes. She must do this with precision. "Please, let them go. I will do as you say." Kayana looked up, face full of fear and naked grief, barely in check. Precision. "Do not hurt my child. I will do anything, please," she begged, her head down in the dust, tears streaming down her dirt-caked cheeks. Focus. Randall grinned, but a thread of caution stuck with him. He had been crew leader long enough to fall for the easy ruse. He spoke sincerely. "You made the right choice. No sense in anyone else getting killed today." He would kill them, screaming. A crew leader had to be feared. It wasn't personal, it was just the way of the world. No one would think less of him for doing what had to be done. He softly tapped the other man on the back, nudging him towards the prostrated woman, a knowing wink passing between them. Harold sat his saddle placidly, the tinge of a grin at the edge of his features. His hands were calm on the reins. The only sound for a moment was the movement of the wagon as it pressed forward. Randall watched as his man moved forward towards the young face-down woman. The old man was still wheezing, straining to catch his breath. In a moment, it would all be done. Behind him. His mind began to move on, thinking dimly of the meal this evening. He wondered absently if the wagon carried any spices. Spices would be lovely. One breath, two, a third. Precision. Kayana closed her eyes, listening intently for the approaching bandit's footfalls. She could feel the subtle impressions they made as he neared her. She could feel the tension in the air, the stillness that comes before the blade falls. She heard the barest whisper, almost missing it. "Should have stayed tied up," the man breathed. Instantly, Kayana rolled onto her belly to the side, the sharp point of the sword sticking into the top of the caravan she had occupied a moment earlier. As she rolled, she grasped the pommel of her bronze blade, making a loud cracking sound as it pounded against the wood when she reoriented herself. Hissing a curse, the bandit ripped his blade back and lunged towards her, hoping to stick her like a pig. Rolling again madly, Kayana brushed the edge of the wagon, suddenly looking down at the rushing ground beneath her.